Hi, I'm Martha from Crafting Change. Now everybody loves a lined tote bag, but I'm not a big fan of having to sew two bags, the outside of the bag and the liner. So I've come up with a super simple way to make a lined tote bag with this cute cuff, and we're going to show you a way to do the easiest box bottom you've ever seen. So let's go get started. On the fabric, first I need two pieces that are 18 inches by the full width of the fabric, and then I've gone back and cut off the selvages. This blue one will be my liner and will make my cuff, and this will be the outside of my bag. We also need two pieces for the straps. These are 5 inches wide by 36 inches long. Okay, now we have both of our fabrics laid out. We've got our lining fabric face down, and we have our piece of fabric for the outside of the bag facing up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fold in this edge about 1/2 to 1/4 of an inch. And we're gonna fold it over about 3 inches. And then we're going to pin this, and we're gonna take it over to our iron and iron it down, and then we're gonna add our straps. To make our straps, we're gonna take our 5-inch strips of fabric, we're gonna fold them in half, and then we're gonna fold in each side and iron that down. And then we're gonna take them to the sewing machine, and we're gonna stitch all the way around both sides of both strips. I'm now over at the ironing board, and I'm going to iron down both cuffs. Then we're gonna put on our straps that we just finished sewing all around at the sewing machine. I usually put a little bit of this, maybe 2 inches or so, underneath. I think it gives it a little bit more stability. And we're gonna put these at the 5 inches from both sides. So this is a 5-inch mark. I'm doing it inside there. And then this is the 13-inch mark, and I'm doing it inside of that mark. And you want to make sure that your straps are straight up and down and that they're not twisted. Now we're going to take this to the sewing machine, and we're going to do a seam here, back stitch across each one of these and across the top as well. Now we're sewing down the cuff, and we want to make sure that we back stitch over the straps. We just attached our straps and sewed down the cuff, the top and the bottom of the cuff, and we back stitched on all of the straps. Now we're gonna go back to the sewing machine, and we're gonna sew down both of the sides about 1/4 of an inch in. Now that we have a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of the bag, we're gonna turn it inside out. The one thing we wanna make sure and do is take this over to the ironing board and iron these seams open well. And we also want to iron the bottom so we get a good crease there. We've just come back from the ironing board where we've ironed down both sides and the bottom. Now I'm going to put my hand inside so I can feel both the inner and the outer lining. And you can see where I ironed the bottom of the bag so we can see where the middle is. Now I'm going to press my thumbs inside, and you can feel both the liner and the outside of the bag, and I'm going to press them in and make a little pocket. I'm going to measure this. It's probably going to be about 2 inches. Now we're going to take this back to the sewing machine. We're going to sew down both sides about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch to make sure we catch that other part so we have a good French seam. And we're going to come all the way sewing to the bottom so that we catch it and we have the perfect box bottom. Okay, we've just finished stitching down both sides about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in on both sides. And now we're gonna turn this right side out. And we've got the boxed bottom that turned out very nicely. And it stands up nicely. And that's Martha's quick and easy lined bag. Here are some other bags using the same technique. Some have canvas on the outside and cotton on the inside, or some of them are just cotton and cotton.